my Amaryllis had babies. What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today on Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray, and welcome to my garden. And today we're going to be talking about something a little different. We're talking about babies, and specifically we're talking about bulb babies. I've got some potted Amaryllis bulbs that have had babies, and it is way past time to get them broken apart. So we're going to work on that today. So hopefully you will enjoy this video. Now, if you have Amaryllis bulbs that are in the ground, if you are in a climate zone where you can plant your Amaryllis in the ground, now is not the time to separate your Amaryllis bulbs. Amaryllis bulbs are better separated in the fall, right as the foliage starts to wither out and die back. But my Amaryllis bulbs are potted. They are in containers. I pull them indoors for the winter. I could have separated these in the fall, but I didn't. I never got around to it. So I have to do this now, because when I flip the camera around in a second and show you these bulbs, you're gonna see like they are completely lifting themselves up out of the container because of the babies. The pot is completely root bound and there is no space for them to grow. So it's to the point with me where I'm gonna do this. So I thought I would just bring you along and let you see it. Maybe you're in a similar situation that I am, where your Amaryllis bulbs have had babies and you're not sure what to do. So this is one of those things in gardening where, even though it's not necessarily the textbook right time to do it, I'm gonna do it anyway, because it needs to be done. Worst case scenario, they die. I'll order new Amaryllis bulbs. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. So let me flip this camera around and we will look at the project. Alrighty, so here we are. You can see this pot here. And this is my mother bulb right here. And so this is a bulb that I have had in this pot for going on 3 years now. And you can see it is absolutely root bound. And mama bulb here has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bulbs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 7. So 7 babies in this pot. And they are lifting themselves up and out of the dirt. So as you can see, it is definitely time for this to be divided out. I mean, the mother bulb, she's not even in the soil anymore. So it's time to do this and get it done. And you can see I'm just now sprouting new leaves for the season. So let me set the phone or the camera up here and let you see what we're going to be doing. All right, so now that I have it released from the pot, and as you can see, I used a potting trowel. This is actually like a bulb trowel. It has a razor saw edge on it, and it really helps sometimes with something sharp like this to get in there and get those roots unstuck from the side of some pots. So now that I have it separated from the pot, I'm going to, as gently as I possibly can, start pulling the bulbs apart from each other and breaking up this root mass. All right, so here is what we are left with. And I actually walked away with 9 bulbs. I had one here that was hidden under the soil and one here that was hidden under the soil that I did not count originally. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what I'm gonna do now is pot up these bulbs, and I've got some pots here. And so I'm gonna take my potting soil, I'm gonna give it a good dose of biotones to get those roots stimulated again, because we just put a lot of trauma on these roots. So let me do that and we will get these potted up. All right, so here is what we are left with, what I wound up doing. So I put Mama back in the original pot by herself because she's such a big bulb. She needed the most root system. Then here I picked 3 smallish medium ones and put together. I just put one here in this pot just because of the way that the opening worked. It just made sense to me. And then I chunked my other medium one and 3 little ones together in this little pot just to give them something to grow in. You know, just to see what happens. So there we have my Amaryllis. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this quick project. So hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Like I said, not the right time of year necessarily to do it, but I had nothing to lose with not doing it because those bulbs were so pot bound and so stuck together, they were going to suffer this growing season. So if you're in a situation where your plants are gonna suffer and struggle anyway, even though it's not the textbook time to do something, my personal opinion is give it a shot, see what happens. Because, if the plant's gonna struggle anyway, then it's a 50-50 shot, right? So either I leave it struggling as it is, or I try to fix it and it may struggle a little bit based on my repair. But either way it goes, I tend not to be very sentimental about things like that anyway. I know some gardeners are probably cringing right now, thinking, oh gosh, you've killed it, they're not gonna make it, and how can you do that? I just tend not to worry about stuff like that. But anyway, for those of you who are like me, you forgot to get that done earlier, you've been wondering what in the world you were supposed to do, there it is. There's the information on how to separate out your Amaryllis bulbs and get all those babies away from the mama and multiply your Amaryllis collection. I hope you've enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up if you have. Don't forget to leave questions or comments down below. And until next time, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.